Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dead on Dave, and it is Monday, January 6th, 2015, and it's time for your daily focus. And of course, sticking with the Tuesday tradition of 1 week old, it is a Raw review show. I am doing it solo. I got some stuff going on. I tried to reach out to a couple people. They weren't up. So, running this thing solo. But first, before we get into that, I want to address a few things. First and foremost, you will see on either side of me, you'll see two little logos, Eat, Sleep, Copious, Repeat, and Over the Top Rope. Do you know what they are? Well, I'll tell you. They are the designs for the first two official Dead on Dave production t-shirts. That's right, motherfuckers. I have made the big time. I have a shirt. I have two shirts. I got to give full credit here to the great Isaac Rojas, who also makes all my really cool graphics that you see, the background here. He's a fantastic graphic designer, sure, that'll work. And he made these great shirts for me, and he made a cool little site on spreadshirt.com, Dead on Dave, spreadshirt.com, deadondave.spreadshirt.com. I'll put the link down there in the description box. Two shirts, Over the Top Rope and Eat, Sleep, Copious, Repeat. The very first two Dead on Dave t-shirts. I think they're really cool. I don't know who would want to buy them, but if you do, if you want to look a little cooler and have the word copious on your chest, because who doesn't? Because it just makes you look smarter. Go ahead and check those out, buy them, and if anybody does buy it, please send me a picture, because look, I'm such a I make no reservations about what I am. I'm a fat guy on YouTube sitting on a couch giving my opinions on shit. Some people like them, some people don't. You know, that's abundantly clear. On the Joe Cronin show last night, we had a great Raw review. Some people were down in the comments hating on yours truly, and that's completely okay. I don't mind it. Some people come on here and troll me here. That's totally fine. I don't mind it. But it seems like these trolls, the people who have the most hatred for me, are the ones who just want to hear people come on and do these shows and go, Raw fucking sucks. Raw sucks. WWE sucks. Everything sucks. Oh my God. I fucking hate the product. I hate you. I hate this. Fuck it. Who gives a shit? What the fuck is Vince McMahon thinking? That's not me. Okay? I am going to call out what I feel is wrong. I don't wear rose-colored fucking glasses. I don't sit here and suck WWE's dick. Here's what I try to do. I give you my opinion on what I think is good about a product and what I think is bad about a product. And I'm just honest to a fucking fault. Whatever I think, that's what the hell I say. And more importantly, what I try to do is give you reasons as to why I think how I think. And most of the time, I'm going to give you an alternative to how things could have been done. Even the good things, even the things they get right, I still always spout off because I'm a chatty Cathy. I just like to fucking talk. And I just spout off shit all the time. That's what I do. And some people like it, some people don't. And I don't really give a shit. And this is, for me, I have fun with this. So I make no reservations about who I am and what I do on this channel. So for anyone who garners hatred towards me, I don't know fucking why. You know, I'm a big fat guy, medically retired soldier on a couch, just doing something I love to do. So for me to have my own shirts, to kind of wrap this into one big thing, is amazing to me. It's to have 255, I believe, as of this morning, subscribers to my channel is absolutely fucking mind-blowing to me. I mean, you just don't know how much it means to me. Every single one of you guys, every comment I get, everything means the fucking world to me. It really does. Because I love interacting. I love having you guys on the shows. I wish I can go live and take calls. I absolutely love doing it. So if you do buy one of these shirts, make sure you take a picture and send it to me on Skype. I don't know what my name is on Skype. Just search Dave Vancura or something like that. You'll find me. Dead on Dave. You'll find me on there. Facebook, Facebook.com. This guy's take on it. Send it to Twitter at DeadOnDaveV, or right here on YouTube in the comment section. The Dead on Dave. Send it to any of those. Google Plus, you can find me there as well. Dead on Dave Productions. I mean, I'm not hard to find. Send me a picture because it would absolutely blow my mind to see somebody wearing my friggin' shirt. That's just too cool. I didn't design the shirt, but these are obviously based off the some of the things that I have said that have gained a little bit of traction amongst some people that kind of like some of the fucked up things and crazy things that I say. So it would just blow my mind, and I'd love to see it. And I'll give you a shout out. I'll put you on the show, whatever. And you might even get a little giveaway surprise somewhere down the road for the first person. The first person who takes a picture of wearing a shirt that they buy off there. And I don't even think I get a cut of this shirt. I have no fucking idea. And I don't care. But the first person who buys it and sends me a picture, I'll probably do some kind of giveaway special with that because it means that much to me. It's just very, very cool. So I'm very excited about it. We got all those things. So make sure you check out that deadondave.spreadshirt.com. Make sure you check that out. And more shirts are probably on the way because I'm always saying amazingly outlandish shit. I don't think I can do a Lana Pussy Vortex shirt. If we can figure out a way to make that happen, it will, but I don't think it can. So, any ideas for the next Dead on Dave shirt, please let me know. Turtle Power? I have no idea. So, just let me know what you guys think about that. Will you be checking out the shirts at all? Let me know, okay? Because that's important to me. I think it's really cool. But to all the haters, go fuck yourselves. If you want a fucking guy that screams and oh, fuck it, go to another channel. Go to someone else, because that's not me. I'm going to try and give you the most logical, clear, concise explanations for things that I possibly can. That's what I do. That's why I take copious amounts of notes. I take it very seriously. I love wrestling. I'm passionate about it. I always have been. It's one of the only things that I have, from the day that I was born, basically, until right now, is a constant in my life is wrestling. And you can call me a nerd because of it. You can call me a fucking fag because of it. I don't give a shit. I'm passionate. But guess what? I'm also passionate about a lot of other things, like my daughter and my family and life and all kinds of fucking politics. That's the thing, motherfuckers. Unlike a lot of people out there, I can talk to you about anything. You want to have a conversation about goddamn quantum physics? Guess what? I'm your guy for that too. Let's talk about shit. I don't mind it. So, don't get it twisted about who I am. I make no qualms about it. I make no fucking apologies. This is who I am, and I have a lot of fun doing it. All right? So I hope you guys get some enjoyment because this is a lot of fun for me. I enjoy it a lot. So I appreciate all the support. I even appreciate the hatred. I do. I appreciate everything. But don't get it twisted is what I'm saying. All right? Now that we've got all that out of the way and the announcements are all taken care of and you know where you can find these awesome shirts, let's get into the Raw review, shall we? And my copious amounts of notes. Because while we did get through them, we hit each point in a way during the shows last night. I didn't go point for point and talk about what I wrote as I wrote it. So I thought that'd be fun to go ahead and do that. So let's get into Dead on Dave's copious amounts of notes, shall we? First thing that I see I wrote here, and I was pretty damn tired at the time, Christ. The roster is in the ring again. Here we go. And I was a little worried that this was going to be, the same old, same old. And in a way, it kind of was. We saw the same stuff that we've seen before out of the Authority, bringing the roster to the ring and all that. And Cena tries to, talk for the roster. And then he gets cut off, and here comes the Authority. And Stephanie McMahon dressed like a 1970s lampshade, which I don't mind, by the way. That woman is... how much she just does not give a fuck about fashion trends, and she wears all these weird things and the leg-high boots with fucking skirts. She makes it work. There's something about Stephanie that, god damn, the things I would do to her are probably highly illegal in many states. I mean, I would eat fucking yogurt out of her butt crack. I'd do it. Even disgusting yogurt. I don't give a fuck. Out of her butt crack, a dimple on her ass, I'd eat cereal out of. I don't give a shit. I think that woman is so fucking fine. She's attractive. I think she's funny. And that's another thing I want to touch on real quick. I thought the Authority's segments, which they kept to a minimum, considering it was an Authority-based show, they did keep it to a minimum. I thought they were brilliant every time that they were on camera. They were funny. They were engaging. I think the Raw is better with the Authority than without. Or maybe not the Authority, but it's better with Triple H and Stephanie. And I think the rumors can finally be put to rest that Stephanie is clearly not pregnant. So, holy crap. That's the next note. Holy crap, Rollins is in the main event now at Royal Rumble. That's surprising. Not only is it surprising, it's downright fucking shocking. I mean, I did not see that coming. Did anybody out there see that coming? I mean, Rollins being put in the main event with a few weeks left to the Rumble. I mean, that's pretty damn shocking to me. It's an interesting twist. What it does is it validates everything that we've seen out of Rollins and Cena up until now, and it gives an extra dynamic to this main event. It also makes you question what's going to happen, because over the last few weeks there's been an obvious cohesiveness between Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman and at least Seth Rollins, if not the entire Authority. So it makes you wonder, what is Seth Rollins' role going to be? And even if there is an alliance between them going into it, how long before Seth Rollins realizes that even if he can't win the main event match, he could take advantage and take the belt? Because maybe Cena doesn't even win the belt at all. Maybe Brock pins Cena. I've been saying I think The Undertaker is going to get involved in this match and make his reappearance at the Rumble, which he's done before, by the way. The Undertaker has made his reemergence at the Royal Rumble before. It's an event that he's done it, so it makes kind of sense in that light for him to do it again. And it's a good way to build to Mania. So him showing up there doesn't necessarily mean Brock has to get pinned or beaten in any form or fashion. He could still get the victory over Cena. He could still make himself look strong by beating Cena, even with an interference or a reemergence of The Undertaker. But that distraction, perhaps he even beats Cena and then gets distracted by The Undertaker or laid out by The Undertaker, and Seth Rollins just kind of crawls over him and pins him to cash in after. I mean, something like that. I see Seth Rollins leaving Royal Rumble with the belt. And part of me is a little disappointed that they put him in the main event, because now everybody's going to see it as a telegraphed move. And I didn't think it needed to be. I felt that's what was going to happen. If you've been watching the show, I've been saying it for weeks now. I felt Rollins was going to leave that pay-per-view with the belt, and I still do. So that'll be really interesting. I'm excited about that. So the big theme of the first segment is it's John Cena Appreciation Night, or as all the smarks call it, Monday Night Raw. Because let's face it, for the last 10 years, that has been the theme of Monday Night Raw, John Cena, and how much John Cena is beloved by everybody, by all the kids, everybody loves John Cena. But I don't see it that way. I feel that John Cena has actually had quite a few stretches in his career where he's been either absent or taking a different role, especially in recent years, where he has worked with some of the mid-card talent and stuff. John Cena does not get nearly enough credit for some of the things that he does, and I'm one of his biggest critics, by the way. He does not get enough credit for some of the things that he does for the business. Does he suck a lot of the life force away? Yes, but I don't think that it's just a John Cena thing. He really does not come off that way to me. He seems like a rather genuine person, but he also realizes, man, I'm making a lot of fucking money. And he probably feels that it is best for what wrestling is right now. And I explained this on the Joe Cronin show last night, where I feel wrestling is at. I feel that we're at the end of another transition period that we've had a few times before. We've had it in the early 80s, early to mid 80s, and early to mid 90s. We've had this before, and maybe even a little bit in the 2000s. Not as much, but we've had this where we had a huge boom in wrestling, a mainstream boom, a mainstream explosion. Popularity goes to a place that we've never seen before, and then we have a period where all the fans that made that possible have kind of grown up and moved on to other things and started doing other life things and just kind of left wrestling behind. some of us have not, and we've found a way to keep wrestling in our lives and still grow the fuck up because we believe in balance. Shocking fucking word, I know. Oh, my God. And the WWE and wrestling in general gets kind of beaten up by that because the fan base goes away. So what do? You reset to what worked before. And what worked before are kind of larger-than-life characters, a little bit more kid-friendly and kid-based content to go after the young fan base once again to grow something for the future. And I believe that's what they've done over the past 6-7 years, because this whole PG era that's run over this course of time, those kids who were 8, 9, 10 buying the John Cena shirts, buying all that crap, guess what? Now they're 17, they're 18, you know, they're in their late teens, early 20s. They're getting to that point to where maybe they're starting to lose a little bit of interest. So what does that mean? Another boom is probably on the way. We're going to get another dose of edgy. And I think we've seen signs of it, by the way. I believe they've gone that way. And maybe even Total Divas, in a way, is a conduit for that. Because, you know, they're pretty kind of risque on there. I mean, granted, Natalya did not actually eat a pot brownie. But they did a drug-based storyline on Total Divas. I mean, that's rather edgy for this time in this climate. So you got to know where the ebbs and flows are and understand where we are in the industry. So that makes complete sense to me, and, you know, doesn't make sense to everybody. Okie dokie, first match of the night. The punishment starts right off. Bad News Barrett, Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental title. The match goes like 5 minutes. Dolph sneaks a victory in. What I really noticed is Bad News Barrett looked a million times better than he did a week ago. Just 1 week. He looks a lot better. Physically, he still looks frail and skinny. Get this man a fucking steak or something. I mean, Jesus Christ. But I think that'll come with time, and that's fine. And I didn't realize that this was going to be a torture night for these guys. So in my notes I go, Bad News Barrett, Ziggler for the Intercontinental title to kick things off, and because the beatdown started after Ziggler got the victory, Bad News Barrett beats the shit out of him. I go, well, that's one way to make a rival. Shit. Kane comes out, 2 out of 3 falls match. Oh man. Now it's 1-1. Barrett go ahead and got the one victory. This is kind of nuts. And then I stopped taking notes on the rest of the match at that point and just kind of watched the rest of the match. Once they got the 1-1, Ziggler made a good comeback, and they had a pretty friggin' good match, I would say, considering how they built it. Ziggler does go down to the bullhammer, and Bad News Barrett wins back the Intercontinental title. He never lost in the first place. So I don't have a big problem with that. A lot of people probably do. A lot of people are like, see, oh, God, I told you. 2 steps forward, 5 steps back. Ziggler's buried. No, he's not. He's not buried, you fucking assholes. This is a repercussion night. And that's the theme of the evening. It was a repercussion night. Ziggler losing the title completely makes sense because it advances the storyline. Not only does it advance his storyline with the authority angle, it creates an instant badass rivalry between him and Bad News Barrett, which will probably culminate at WrestleMania 31. How about that for a fucking match? Just a badass fucking match between Bad News Barrett and Dolph Ziggler. Maybe we just get it at Royal Rumble. Depends how long these guys are fired. So I like that. I don't have a problem with it. I did take more notes on it. Barrett looks a lot better this week, and off the distraction, wins back the title he never lost. I wrote that exact thing down. Okay. Next up, we get a Roman Reigns. Oh, we got a Roman Reigns promo sighting, people. Oh, my God. I'm like, oh, my God, Roman Reigns. A Superman promo. You beautiful idiot. You beautiful idiot. What a fuck. Oh, my God. He's so bad on the mic. talk about 2 steps forward and 5 steps back. All the good work that Reigns has been doing, this promo, at first I was like, this is horrible. It's a Superman promo. And then I thought about it. This is purposely done. Yeah, he still delivered it like Roman Reigns, whatever. But doing this promo with all of the comparisons and all of the things that are said that he's the next Cena, for him to do a Superman promo, which is exactly what John Cena is called constantly by the announcers. I absolutely love when this happens, when the WWE acknowledges what the fans say and does this. Says, oh yeah, he's the next Cena? Yeah, he's the next Superman? Yeah. Sit on it and let it spin in your sphincter. Let's get let me do this to you. This is WWE giving you the come hither while it's up your ass. I kind of like that. Because it's just a little bit of it's an Easter egg almost, you know? It's the WWE acknowledging they know what you're saying, but we just don't fucking care because, trust us, it's going to be okay. And a lot of the times, it does turn out to be okay. And I'm going to give him a pass because Roman Reigns has looked so much better since he's returned. So I don't mind it too much. Next up, time for some ascending. And in my notes, I love these guys. We need a fucking Legion of Doom. We really do. And then what do? They bury the Legion of Doom and Demolition. They finally speak in the ring, and that's what they do. They just bury them. They buried 2 iconic tag teams that they're obviously in the vein of. Look, I kind of enjoy the fact that they're up there not being a tag team that's trying to be technical and super in the ring. These 2 are trying to be modern day ass kickers, which the WWE has not had in the tag team division in a very long, maybe not since the APA. You know, I mean, since the last time we saw the APA together or something. When was the last just sheer ass kickery of a tag team? We just haven't had it. So it's kind of nice to see. And I like that this young, brash tag team is not only burying some of the greatest tag teams in history that they're clearly in the vein of, but then they're bringing back the time-honored tradition of local wrestler, jobber, squash matches. I kind of enjoy it. Ryback did it, but it's different when it's in the tag team division. It's kind of a little bit funnier. And I have to give the announce team credit in this match in specific. And overall, all night, I felt they did a pretty damn good job. Booker T brings something different to the announce team. And it's nice to see Jerry not there. I don't want him sick or anything, of course. But having Booker T out there, in particular talking with JBL, it really worked most of the night. And in this match, the outrage that both JBL and Booker T showed towards the Ascension, invoking the name of Legion of Doom, was great because they buried them for it. I mean, they were like, you can't. I was in the Booker saying I was in the ring with Legion of Doom. They ain't the Legion of Doom. I enjoyed that. I mean, I'm like, okay, this is building the Ascension for something. This is building them for something bigger. And them coming out and continually saying things like this, it's going to give us room for, maybe they can bring back an older tag team that was kind of cool in the 90s. Maybe even getting over a team like the New Age Outlaws. Maybe the New Age Outlaws, who, if you remember, had a legendary feud with Legion of Doom, taking the belts off of them, and I believe even retiring them at one point. I'm not sure. I think maybe LOD won that retirement match against them. I can't remember. Maybe them coming out and saying, you think you guys are so legendary, why not? Let's see what they can do the job to Ascension. That would be a cool thing to see. So, I mean, there's all kinds of really badass things they can do with the Ascension, and I'm excited to see that. And the announce team stepped up and did their job for once. They're still not calling matches the way I'd like them to. They're still not calling holds or anything like that. But overall, I give the announce team a vast improvement. I think they were vastly improved over the weeks before. And it's hard not to notice how much better the announcers were with Booker T over Jerry Lawler. That being said, Jerry Lawler, please get well soon. Just don't come back to fucking work. Okay? Roman Reigns, Big Show up next. What the hell are they going to do here? The match is starting to build. This is my notes, by the way. Match is building. This is not a bad match. Roman Reigns, Big Show seem to work well together. They're building to something here. And DQ. And DQ. They're still teasing a bigger match between the two, which I don't mind. I think it's surprising to me, and there's so much hatred. And I'm going to call out Crowley here because Ed Crowley is the type of wrestling fan that I get mad at because he can't see past his own anger, his own hatred towards certain wrestlers. I can. That's what differentiates me from other people is I can see past my dislike of a wrestler. There's a lot of wrestlers I don't like personally. I can't stand John Cena in a lot of ways, but I have respect for what they do, and I can point out when they do good things. Guys like Crowley, who I love, he's my boy, by the way. I am not burying Crowley by any fucking meaning, okay? But he's writing me throughout the show just not happy with any of this shit because it's people he does not like. And he's stated many times he hates the Big Show and he refuses to give him credit. I think the Big Show has worked so much better in this rivalry with Reigns and is helping Reigns get over. Because Show still has something to give. Just from his sheer size, his presence still means something because he's huge. And they had a good match, and then the DQ. And Big Show going back to the stairs. Once again, showing continuity within a storyline for a specific character. Big Show has used the stairs in other recent storylines, so it makes sense for him to continue to do so. It kind of harkens back to Triple H and the hammer, the sledgehammer. Which we don't always see all the time. It's kind of a cool nuance that I appreciate as a wrestling fan. I don't feel insulted like Jesse always likes to say. Another guy who makes these ambiguous statements about how much the product sucks, yet without giving specifics, and it drives me insane. I see these nuances, and I don't think it's insulting. I think it's well written and well done that they're continuing some, not all the time, of course, but in some cases, and this is one of them. They bring back the stairs, and then one of my favorite fucking parts is Reigns gets the upper hand, spears Big Show, and the stairs land on his head. And God bless Big Show for laying there on the mat, letting these fairly heavy steps. I mean, I know they're not as heavy as they like to say they are, but they have some weight to them. Just that weird, awkward part of the step, just lay on his head. Just lay on his head. It did not look comfortable, but he stayed there, and he just kept it going. And I kind of appreciated that. It was hilarious to me. I had a lot of fun with that. So I like where they're going with that feud, and I can definitely see more of it. So I'm not done with it. Hopefully it will end at the Rumble. Maybe they'll have a match before Reigns participates in the Rumble. I have no idea. Maybe the pay-per-view in between Rumble and WrestleMania in your house, Fastlane, as I like to call it. So, next up, okay, this was interesting. This is where the night kind of really picked up for me in a way which I was not expecting. The Bellas come out, and it's Nikki Bella versus Natty. By the way, Natty is wearing some new ring gear where she wore this shirt, and apparently on Joe Cronin's show, I made reference to it a little bit because it was driving me crazy how sexy she looked in this shirt. She did. Just unbelievably sexy. And this match is about to start, and out comes Paige. For no reason, it would seem, other than the fact that Natty and Paige are in a storyline on Total Divas. So I write in my notes, Paige out for no reason. But you know what? She doesn't need one. She doesn't need one. Paige is all we need because Paige is out there and changes the dynamic of the match. Changes the dynamic of everything because the things she says, her mannerisms, the way she carries herself is just different than any other diva on the roster and maybe any other diva this side of AJ Lee in the past 7-8 years. I mean, she's good. She's good on the mic. She's good in the ring. This girl has it. Paige has it. And she helps Natty get the victory and then cleans house after. And I love this whole, this is my house thing she does. And then she goes over to Natty and kind of cradles her and says, "This is our house." I kind of like that. Remember, Natty is the same chick not that long ago that Paige licked in the ring. Paige licked this woman. So, I don't know. It's very strange. Next thing I noticed, I felt it was really classy of WWE to bring up Stuart Scott. I really, really did. I enjoyed that. Stuart Scott means a lot to the entertainment, sports entertainment business, clearly. He just really did. And it was a terrible loss. And WWE to acknowledge that, especially to a company like like ESPN that takes, almost pilfers talent from them on a regular basis. And apparently they've been trying to do it with Renee Young as well. It just shows a lot of class and maturity out of WWE, and I appreciated that. I said it on Joe Cronin, I'll say it again here. If ESPN, since everybody likes to do Mount Rushmores of everything nowadays, if ESPN had a Mount Rushmore, the faces on Mount Rushmore would be Chris Berman, Dan Patrick, Keith Olbermann, and Stuart Scott. There's no question about that. So, one of my favorite points of Joe Cronin show last night was when a longtime caller, one of the first callers ever in Joe Cronin history, a guy called by the name of New York, who calls up and is completely obliterated high as fuck. Towards the end of his call, he took a moment and just said thank you to me for a video I did the other day on Stuart Scott, and he basically just connected with what I was trying to say, and that meant a lot to me. And because Stuart Scott meant a lot to me, it was a big part of my childhood, so that was cool. It was a cool moment for me in particular. Next up, we got some Eric Rowan action. Ooh, against Harper. Remember, these are my notes that I'm reading. This is not just me being retarded. Eric Rowan, against Harper. Let's do this. Then what the fuck? J&J Security and referee shirts. We got some hilarity with those. I kind of like J&J. I don't mind Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury. I like these guys. They can be rather funny because they're just retarded, and it's great in the best possible way, by the way. Obviously, this is payback for Survivor Series. I mean, it's getting more clear that what we're seeing is payback for Survivor Series. And boom, Harper destroys Rowan, and then the friggin' refs get involved. And they do this badass double team move, which you don't see double team moves with kicks to the head unless it's a super kick. But they went off the ropes and basically concertoed Rowan's head with their feet. And that was kind of neat. It was a cool move that we don't get to see all the time, and Rowan sold it well. Rowan, once again, in limited action, showing he's not nearly as bad as some people would like to say, because there's such a hatred, and I think even Joe Cronin is a little bit guilty of this. There's such a hatred against big guys right now, because it's all the small guys who can go. There's some big guys who can move, and I think Rowan has potential. That's my opinion. Next up, what the fuck? Alicia Fox is crazy again. Just the way I like her. I don't mind this. I enjoy Alicia Fox being absolutely insane. I don't mind it. They did a backstage segment where she's talking to Naomi and their friends. Girl, I've known you for a long time, and then she starts getting a little snarky, a little mean. Well, you got kicked off of Total Divas, and Naomi was like, She said, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I meant to hurt you! And she just starts kicking her ass, and then all the other divas, especially, most notably, Cameron, come around her, and Cameron just squats by the beaten up body of Naomi. Obviously, Cameron doesn't care because they've had a breakup, maybe even in real life, where they just are not friends, and it's ugly. And she just squats there like she could give a fuck less, and everyone else is trying to be concerned, and nobody really reacts well. It was just kind of a funny backstage angle. I thought that was kind of cool. Ambulance match is up next. Good match. Really solid match. The gimmick match, of all gimmick matches that they've done, I like this the most because an ambulance match basically has the most potential to just be a straight up wrestling match for most of a fight, which this was. There was a little bit of in-ring action, and there was a lot of in the crowd stuff, but they brought it back to the ring a few times and did some straight-up wrestling stuff. But between these two guys, you're just going to get hard-hitting maneuvers, some big spots, and we got that. They worked well with the ambulance. I feel the tables that were painted was kind of corny, but, it didn't bug me that much. I didn't feel there was any way Dean Ambrose could win this match. They could not have Bray, even if Bray Wyatt's not going to be with The Undertaker at WrestleMania, which I feel it's becoming less likely that he will, even if that's not the case, he could not afford to have another loss right now. Not an overall feud loss. Could not happen. He's had too many of them. And so is Dean Ambrose. But the losses to Ambrose don't seem to matter. The losses to Wyatt have seemed to affected his momentum. The crowd, because his gimmick is so intense and so creepy and so reliant on dominance, the losses to Jericho and Cena and Bryan have seemed to really damage his crowd participation and the crowd giving a shit. So he needed to win this. So I was okay with him winning it. I was okay with Ambrose taking a loss there again because I feel that he could recover from this loss, while I'm not so sure Bray Wyatt could. So it was important for that to happen. And it was a good match and it was a good send-off. I don't know how long Ambrose is going to be out. Maybe he's back on SmackDown getting right back into another feud. Who knows? It's going to be interesting to see what they do there. Mixed tag team match to follow that. That sucks for them. But they delivered. It was Mizdow and Alicia Fox versus Naomi and the Usos. I didn't think the match was that bad. I thought it was pretty solid. Naomi and Alicia, I'd like to see more of them in singles action together. They really work well. It's a little bit different to see two black females go after each other. It's kind of cool to see. It's just a different dynamic. I mean, when you see something different, it's okay to acknowledge it, and that's what I'm doing. I just felt it was a little different and cool. So hopefully we'll see more out of that, and they seem to work well together. They're athletic. They're both a little sloppy at times, more so Alicia than Naomi, but I think they could work some decent matches together, and it's nice to have a side feud away from the Divas Championship as well, because it draws a little more attention to the Divas division, which is what we need, I think, my opinion. The match itself was not bad. The Usos work. We get the same thing out of Mizdow. Is anybody else getting tired of the Mizdow not wrestling? I mean, I really want to see Sandow wrestle because he's so good. Yes, it's funny what he's doing, and I've been saying this for weeks now. It's hilarious what he's doing with the taking the bumps on his own, but I'm getting to the point where I want to see him fight. And eventually he's got to turn on the Miz. It's every week. It's not happening. But it is what it is. The ending of the match was weird. At first, I thought it was a straight-up botch. I thought Naomi was supposed to take the bump off the ropes. But when you watch it slow down a little bit, you could see clearly that's what they were going for. And it's one of the most perfectly executed, awkward endings to a match because it really made you think, like, oh, wow, that was realistic. That was really, like, shit, she almost got hit, acknowledges it, and that allows for the roll-up and the tights to get pulled on the Uso. It was crazy. It was a really, really cool thing that we don't always get to see. So I give them credit for that, even though I thought initially it was a botched ending. But it clearly wasn't, so that was cool. Ryback and Rollins come out next. They're about to have a fight, and here comes Kane. And here comes a handicap match. More punishment. Gotta give credit to Ryback for wrestling a really good match. This is the same situation as Rowan. Ryback garners all this hatred from so many people. And I'm going to throw Crowley's name out there again because he calls Ryback Royback, even though there's only been one case in his career where he did have a possibility of being suspended for performance-enhancing drugs. He had a good explanation for what was taken. He said it was an over-the-counter thing or something like that, which he doesn't have any other things in his career that would make you think he's a liar. on that. So calling him Ryback kind of is insulting and stupid and pisses me. It's petty and dumb, and we don't need to be doing that shit. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, he's a big guy, but why can't he be naturally big? He seems like a hard worker. I appreciate that out of Ryback, and I appreciate his work in the ring with Rollins, who's fantastic, and a guy who's not always easy to wrestle with at this stage in his career, and that's Kane. I felt the match was pretty damn good. Ryback looked strong in the loss because he fought his ass off against these guys, and takes the loss because, once again, punishment angle. And if you didn't see this coming throughout the night, then you're obviously not paying the fuck attention. So next out, New Day, who we haven't seen in a few weeks, is back out there, and it's Big E Langston. God, I still want to call him Langston. I like the Langston. Big E versus Adam Rose, the new Dark Adam Rose, who I really enjoy, and the fucking Rosebuds that he's forcing to do his bidding and dance and attack people. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I think it's hilarious. So they're having this match, and then out of nowhere, the Rosebuds attack. Or we think they're Rosebuds, but they're not Rosebuds. They're not Rosebuds. It turns out it's Kid and Cesaro. They're attacking the New Day. And then they stayed in the ring and celebrated with Adam Rose and the Rosebuds. So you got to ask yourself, what are we going to get over the next few weeks? Is there a new alliance between Kid and Cesaro, who I'm starting to like more and more in the tag team division, by the way. Every week they're bringing something new and different. And, it's good these guys are doing something. And maybe they were put together at first just because creative had nothing for them. But now it's one of those situations. It's a Mizdow situation, where it's that type of situation where it's a terrible gimmick or a terrible idea because they had nothing else, and it's turning into something. And creative is acknowledging that and giving them a little bit of momentum and giving them a little bit of push. Now, granted, it's against the New Day, who is failing miserably, I think. This New Day thing is not working. They need to go darker. Sorry for the pun. But they need to be a little more edgy. I think it would be a better way to go with them. They need to be three disgruntled young black wrestlers who are tired of bad gimmicks and terrible angles and not getting their fair shake. The positivity thing is stupid. It's not where. How can they possibly continue to be positive? And I'm hoping that's where this is eventually going, where Langston turns on the other two and this is, how can you guys continue to do this stupidity? I'm hoping that's where this goes. But for the short term, are we going to get New Day in a series of 6-man tags versus Adam Rose, Kid, and Cesaro, which I have to admit, from a wrestling standpoint, I really like that pairing, that trio. I think that's a very cool thing indeed. Hopefully that's what it's going to be. Or are we just going to get Kid and Cesaro versus New Day, and I guess the whole Dust Brothers thing just never happened, which, it is what it is. I think the Dust Brothers are busy transitioning to whatever they're going to do, which I'm still feeling. And probably this is going to kind of come to a head at Rumble. They're going to start teasing the Dust Brothers fighting each other at WrestleMania, which is, I think, what ultimately is going to happen. If you're hearing rustling of paperwork in the background, it's because my wife does not give a flying fuck about me, about the show, about you as fans. She's going to sit her ass right here, and she's going to read her newspaper, read her little advertisement. She's going to shuffle those fucking pages as loud and as hard as she can, and she doesn't care. No, don't mouth you're sorry. Apologize so they can hear you.
I'm sorry. I didn't know it was that loud.
Just oblivious to the world. That's okay. I love her. It's fine. So, yeah. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen with that. And I don't mind it. I like the Adam Rose thing. I like Cesaro and Kid. And hopefully this is going to lead to something not only with the New Day, but the New Day either turning or one of them doing something more interesting. My notes stopped there because I decided I was just going to watch the end segment on its own and just check it out and try to enjoy it. And I got to say, I did. The Authority out there, I enjoyed everything that they said, everything they did, calling out John Cena and, making it seem like we appreciate John Cena and all this stuff. Then I knew something bad was about to happen when they called out Ryback, Ziggler, and Rowan. And it looked like, at first, they were just going to give them suspensions. And they were very dejected about it. And Ziggler was like, I guess I'm getting a 90-day suspension and all of this. And then they were like, let's have a conference, Stephanie and Triple H. Let's have a conference. And they start walking. And once they're walking up that ramp, we know what's about to happen. We know that they're fired. And they turn around and Stephanie delivers the line, "You're fired," and I didn't mind it too much. I like how they played it because they didn't just say you're fired. They made it a point to, and you could thank John Cena, your hero, for bringing us back. That's who to thank for. I like that. I love the confetti coming down as John Cena's just heartbroken in the ring. I love the music. I loved it. I absolutely did. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was very fitting. I think I would have liked had they just got disgruntled and beat the shit out of Cena. But Chris Tosevich, who made his miraculous resurrection last night on the Joe Cronin show, made a good point and brought me down from that fantasy and said then they'd be making essentially 3 heel turns out of stars that really aren't ready for a heel turn. So that makes sense. But would it be a true heel turn if they did something completely reasonable, which would be beating up Cena? So the question now remains going forward, what is going to happen to Cena? Is he going to have any allies left now? And how long is Ziggler, Ryback, and Rowan going to be off camera? How long are they going to be off TV? Are they going to buy tickets and show up and kind of be disgruntled ex-employees? Are they going to invade? Are they going to come back with Sting? I mean, Sting did get himself involved in that Survivor Series match, and maybe that's where this is building. Sting leading a resistance to the Authority. If it's not going to be a direct tie to Vince McMahon, which I still feel Vince is going to get involved. Now, there's an interesting little nugget that has been thrown out there that Vince McMahon is going to inject himself into this matchup and have his own champion, and it's not Sting. There's a possibility of The Undertaker representing Vince McMahon because he really wants Sting and The Undertaker, but having a 3-way between Sting, Undertaker, and Triple H, that's an interesting concept. I don't know how well it would work because between the 3 of them, I believe it's 150 years old. If you combine their 3 ages, it's about 150 years old. So you have to wonder if that's going to work. I'm not sure. But it is something intriguing. And with guys like Daniel Bryan coming back, with guys like Wade Barrett coming back, when Sheamus eventually returns, it gives them a little bit more roster depth to be able to explore these possibilities. Whether or not they're going to work, I feel we're in a better position going into this WrestleMania and really going into Royal Rumble than we were last year. I mean, last year going into the Rumble, we knew that I knew from the jump that Daniel Bryan was not going to be in that Rumble. I didn't expect him to be. People getting pissed off about him not being in it kind of made me angry because I thought it was stupid because if you thought he was going to be in it, obviously you're not paying attention. Then, of course, everything getting flipped on its head because CM Punk taking his ball and going home and all of that. A little bit of different dynamic this year where we have more options. There's some very interesting things going on that can make a very, very cool WrestleMania and give us a very heavy and important top level of matches for that event. And I think it's something we haven't had in a while, so it's very interesting. That about wraps it up. I think that I've hit it pretty well. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. I went a little longer than I was expecting to, but hey, I just got rolling and just kept talking, which I'm prone to do, by the way. So make sure, once again, that you check out the Dead on Dave t-shirt site on, oh, Jesus, I can't remember the name now. Let me bring it real quick. Like I said earlier, and you've seen all throughout the show, the t-shirt designs are sitting right there, and they are on Spreadshirt.com, deadondave.spreadshirt.com. 2 shirts, the over-the-top rope and Eat, Sleep, Copious, Repeat shirts that are designed by the fabulous Mr. Rojas, Isaac Rojas. Make sure you check that out. Check him out. Radical Isaac, I believe, is his Twitter handle. Make sure you check that out. Check out this site. It's very cool. The Dead on Dave has a merch site. It's incredible. I'm flattered and just humbled by the entire thing, to be completely honest, and it just brings a light to my face. And if you didn't catch it at the beginning, the first person that takes a picture wearing a shirt they bought, a Dead on Dave shirt, I'll do something special for. Whether I send a special gift, give you a special shout out, put you on the show, let you rant about whatever you want to, whatever it is. I don't even care if you buy a shirt to burn it. I don't give a fuck. I think it would be too cool to see somebody wearing one of these shirts. So if you happen to do that, I think that's awesome, and I will go out of my way to do something a little special for you in return. So that is about it. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and get involved. Give me your comments below. Tell me what you think of Raw. I want to hear what you guys have to think. I'll answer you. If there's things you want me to do videos on, let me know. Let me know specifically what you want to see. If there are certain angles, certain points in the WWE Universe or other wrestling organizations that you want to hear comments on, or you feel is not being represented properly by me or anybody else, let me know, and I will do my best to look at it, try to learn a little bit about it, and talk about it right here on Dead on Dave Productions, because that's what I do. So other than that, I'm out of here. I appreciate everything, guys. I will see you next time right here tomorrow on your Daily Focus. Peace.